Excellent. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another culinary adventure with Chaos Baker himself, Samba Schutte. I see everybody is filing in now. Excellent. Do so in an orderly fashion. Tip your servers. We've got the chat now open. We'd love to hear where you're from. Yay! 7 p.m. in Switzerland. Yay! Oh, Switzerland, so pretty. Yeah, love to hear where you're from. The UK. Yep, we've got people from all over the world today. Oklahoma, Calgary, Wales, Seattle. We've got a really fun baking class here today, and we've got a lot to cover. So I'm not gonna dilly dally here. But the chat is open. Love to hear where you're from, and you can chat with each other throughout the duration of the class. If you have questions as we go, the class can often help. Did I brown this butter too much? Is there such a thing as too much butter? The answer is no. And then if you just remember, we're going to post this afterwards too. So if you get caught up or you feel like you're not quite at the same pace, there's some downtime as well during the recipe. So if you have questions for Samba as well, use that Q&A box, the Q&A box there, a little feature, little button. Use that Q&A box and use that because the chat likes to get going and then it's a waterfall and then we don't see your questions. So use that Q&A box. Finally, if you have a meet and greet ticket, just stick around right here. We're going to do that immediately after the class. So if you have tickets for meet and greets, you're just going to stick around right here. And finally, I wanted to do, before I bring Samba in, I wanted to say something to this crew because I feel like you guys are the crew to say this to. We've had so much fun doing this stuff, but I also want to say, and Samba doesn't know I'm going to do this, his new show, Pluribus, is amazing. And he's so good on it. And if you're not watching that as well, it is bananas. I'm enjoying the hell out of it. It's nice to have a show again where I'm like fully committed into it, and I'm like, what's happening here? And it's so I think we're all collectively so proud of Samba. So I just wanted to say that before I bring him in, so that when he comes in, I've done my full fanboying before he sees me in person. So let's bring him in. Samba, Samba, are you with us? Are you
I have
in the kitchen?
I have arrived, Charlie. Let me just start up my video.
Okay.
Hello,
Yay!
everybody. What's up? Thank you so much for
Yay!
being here, you guys. I really appreciate it. Just seeing all the countries pop up. I mean, Australia, Latvia, Switzerland, UK. That's just in all the states. I just this is so special to me. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Charlie, for putting this together. I love doing these events. I love raising money for charity. Today, we're raising money for Feeding America. It's a lot of people having a hard time right now in the States. Also, just with, feeding themselves, which is like the basic necessity. So I'm so grateful that you guys are here just to help some people out, especially when it's getting cold and the holidays are coming up. We're doing something really special together. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you guys. We're crew for life, like I said, and I'm not sure if there's some people who are not OFMD fans who are joining me in today. If you are, I am so sorry for what's going to go down in the next hour and a half. These people are a different breed, but you'll catch up. Just keep an eye on the chat. Good luck to you. Anyone else who's watching Pluribus, thank you, Charlie, for the shout out. It's such a fun show. So I'm here today to, bake with you, but at the same time, there'll be downtime, like Charlie said. So I'm happy to ask me anything, do some ask me anything. Just any questions about OFMD, myself, Pluribus. I'm happy to share without giving spoilers. So today we are going to bake one of my favorites, profiteroles, aka choux, or cream puffs if you're from Virginia. And we are going to do this dish because it was the first dish I baked to bring to the crew when we were filming season 1. And it was on the day that we were doing the lunch scene with the tea party scene with the British. And it was so fun not only to be able to bring a dish and have everyone go, "Oh my God, you're an actual cook." I was like, "Yeah, I don't only play a cook, I actually bake." And then I go to set and I see there's actual cream puffs on the tea time table next to a pickle sandwich and a dried seagull jerky or something. And it was just so fun to be like, oh my God, I'm in sync with Roach. So yeah, I'm so excited to teach you guys this recipe. I know it can seem daunting, but trust me, I'll guide you every step of the way. We'll take our time. And if there's any questions whatsoever, we'll do our best to address it, but I believe in you. All right. Are we ready to go? Charlie, are we ready to kick this party off?
We are ready to go. And we already have questions coming in the Q&A about how to do this and about Pluribus and about all sorts. We're going to have some fun.
All right. Sounds good. All right. First things first, you guys, we can't do this dish without an oven, so I hope you have one. Turn it on to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, which is also known as 200, 200, let's see, divided by 2 minus 30, do 200 degrees Celsius. Yeah, because 180 times 2 is 360 plus 30, 40, yeah, 180, 200 degrees Celsius. But if you're in America, 400 Fahrenheit, okay? Turn your oven on. If some people are panicking about that, yeah, 200 Celsius, thank you. Okay, what we're first gonna start with is the pâte à choux, which is the pastry part of this dish. It's pretty easy to make. It's a bit messy, but this is what we're here for. So first thing we're gonna do is use a medium saucepan to put that on your stove. And to the saucepan, we're gonna add 1 cup of water. That's 250 milliliters of water for the people who use the metric system and are smarter than everyone else in the world. Okay, here we go. 1 cup of water. Right here. And then 1 stick of butter, which is 120 grams or half a cup of butter. Just put that in the water and then turn your heat on to medium-high heat so the butter can melt in the water. Everyone with me so far? We're also going to add a teaspoon of sugar to this mix right now. So you can use brown sugar, you can use white sugar, whatever you want. Just 1 teaspoon of sugar in the water butter mix. And a pinch of salt. Just a little bit. So your shoes have a little salt to it and it's not too sweet. All right. We're basically going to let this all melt together. So I like to stir it a few times. I'm going to turn my camera down so you can see what happens. But what we're trying to do is melt the butter, sugar, salt into the water until it's fully melted together and starts to simmer a little bit before we add our flour. So let me turn the camera down so you can see what's happening on my saucepan. 1 sec. This fell down earlier today, so if it does again, I'm so sorry. But this is what we're here for.
I'm getting Wayne's World extreme close-up vibes right now. That's what I'm getting. What?
What? And let's pull focus. All right, my own DP today. I'm sorry, guys. All right, let me see. The water and the butter and the sugar and the salt all simmering away on medium-high heat. Just keep stirring that so it all melts together. You can break your butter off. Oh, see? I'm already burning myself.
We can't go unscathed, though. I mean, the last time you got attacked by a cereal bowl, so we have to...
Last time I was attacked by a cereal bowl. The trial is still pending. I'm still suing Cereal Bowls Inc. for the damage they caused to my pinky. I stopped eating cereal, Charlie. I'm a yogurt man now, and would bring that fruit. Just stay away from all those cereals, killers. You can get your wow, this is a really really close up. I'm sorry. Hi. Oh, I didn't have a facial. This is we're gonna get ready for to add the flour. So while this is simmering down and melting, get your flour ready. We're gonna add 1 cup of flour to this mix when it simmers. 1 cup is 250 grams. You can use regular flour. For today, I'm going to use regular flour. But if you use gluten-free flour, I use 1-to-1. Sometimes I make these gluten-free as well. And with gluten-free, they tend to have a little of a different texture in this part of the recipe, but don't panic, okay? It's going to look a little stickier than with regular flour, but don't panic. Either way, it's just 1 cup of flour, and that's just still going to make your pâte à choux. So let me get my 1 cup of flour ready to add to this once it's all melted and simmers. You do the same. And you use good old regular bleached flour. 1 cup. That's about right. Okay. So just keep an eye on this guy. Right now, this is what it's looking like. It's almost fully melted the butter. Just keep stirring it. So it fully melts together. I did not know if I was going to be in that tea time scene when I first read the script because Roach wasn't written into that tea time scene. So I was like, oh, I want to dress all fancy and nice and be part of that scene. But Taika, who directed the pilot, was like, no, of course you're in it. You're going to be laying down the dish when it opens, and then I'm going to let you have fun with your cleaver once mayhem ensues. And so when I got the chance to appear, once we started attacking the British, I loved just Taika's like, just do whatever you want, Samba. So I had a sweet potato in my hand and a fake cleaver. It was a fake cleaver. It was made of like plastic or whatever. But I was like, okay, this is my one chance. I got one take with Taika. Let's go. So I came on screen. I just went, that scream I do, and then I literally start chopping this sweet potato with this plastic cleaver, and it actually chopped off. That's how intense I was. Literally, like pieces of sweet potato were flying around, and I was like, and it ran off. It got a laugh from everybody, which was nice, and I got a fist pump from Taika, which was like, oh, I did something to make everyone laugh. So it was just really nice to have that moment be featured. And if you look at the photo of that shot where I'm holding a sweet potato with my cleaver, I am completely holding the cleaver wrong. It's like backwards. So I look so inept, but that's how into it I was. I was like, this is my moment to shine. That's a little fun, little BTS story for you. All right, look at this. It is boiling butter, people. Now it's time to add your flour. Okay, so once it's simmering and melting, we're gonna add our flour. Now, make sure you stir consistently once you add your flour, because we want the flour to incorporate, but also to cook. That's why we're gonna let it cook for about 5 minutes, but consistently stirring. All right, I'm gonna add mine. Are you ready? Here we go. Adding the flour and stirring. Don't burn yourself. Keep stirring, keep stirring, keep stirring. It's gonna thicken up once it all comes together. It's gonna form a kind of doughy ball. I want it all to incorporate, so make sure you keep stirring so there's no chunks of white flour. Just see, it's gonna start forming a little tight ball. It's interesting because when I first came up with, or I knew I was gonna do this recipe for you guys, I wanted to call it Black Pete's chocolatey balls, which I thought was a nice name. Shout out to Black Pete. But keeping it just nice, classy. All right, keep stirring. It's gonna form. You see, it's gonna clump together. But just keep cooking it, all right? Because we're gonna try to cook the flour a little bit. Now, what I realized is with gluten-free, it cooks way faster. It comes together way faster. So don't panic when it does. Just keep stirring it. And you'll know it's ready once like a thick layer of film starts forming under the saucepan and sticks kind of. But it takes about 3 to 5 minutes. So keep stirring it. Make sure it cooks for about 3 to 5 minutes. You can see some film is starting to form here on the sides, but you want it to form at the bottom too. All right.
People are commenting on how spotless your stove is, and also the fact that you have a hand towel near an open flame. There you go.
You know, things I don't pay attention to, Charlie. And I don't know, I must have a really strong guardian angel. I did set fire to my kitchen once, though, with a paper towel close to the flame. That was fun. Fun times. Almost pulled a Michael Jackson. All right. See, it's starting to form a film. Okay. If you don't have your eggs on standby, your 4 eggs, now's the time to get them while this is cooking. Just noticed I was really close to the flame with a towel again. This is going to be an ongoing theme. Okay. Let that cook. Just 1 or 2 more minutes. Everyone doing okay so far?
We have a couple of people who are a little bit behind, but there's some who are right on target.
Amazing. Good job, you guys. This is the hardest part of this recipe, FYI. It's almost there. Just keep stirring it. Put the flour down. If your gluten-free flour is done at this point, take it off the heat. Once this forms a film underneath the saucepan, just take it off the heat and put it into a mixing bowl for the next step. Okay, I'm about to put mine in. I'll show you what the film looks like right now. See, it starts to form this kind of layer there. Then you kind of know it's almost ready once it starts forming these little film thing at the bottom. So I'm just going to give mine 30 more seconds. Ready to go. So we can see what the mixing bowl will look like.
Someone's asking what if a film is not coming up, is not coming.
The film's not coming? Mm-hmm. Well, some people take longer to come. It's just normal. What we're going to do is just keep cooking it. Maybe turn up your heat a little higher, okay? And keep stirring as long as you keep stirring. Some people like it longer, Charlie. I can't work it. Yeah.
Yes, Dennis, yes. If you're not coming, turn up the heat is exactly what he said.
Absolutely. And yeah, just let it do its thing. So turn up the heat and keep stirring. It'll form a film eventually. And don't worry if you're behind, because like Charlie said, each step of the way, there's going to be moments and breaks in between. And it's pretty straightforward what the next steps are. And I'll try to pace myself too. Okay, mine is done. It's going to be this kind of doughy, sticky, warm texture, which is usually what happens when the film comes. So we're going to put that in a mixing bowl, okay? I'm so sorry. Anyone who's not an OFNB fan, I'm so sorry. They're special. Okay, put it in there. Let me pan down so you can see my mixing bowl. Nope. Wait.
Hey, Samba.
Yo.
From our last event with Khan that we just did.
Yeah. How did you survive that?
Well, my defenses are low. So when you even mention anything remotely on Tundra, one thing that did come up was the concept of doing you and he in a cooking class. And it was suggested that you do cream pies with Khan and Samba.
You know, very, very accurate recipe for the two of us. He's the one I stay in touch with the most, to be honest, and it's just so fun. So I love that he's doing these events too. I survived his last event where I had to read some fanfic. Still going to therapy about it. But no, a cooking class with Khan. He's an amazing chef. You don't know this, but he used to work in a kitchen. He was a chef in his past life.
He acted like he can't bake a damn
No,
thing.
he was, and he got fired because he washed this chef's frying pan, and he was immediately kicked out of the kitchen. It was like this chef's frying pan that he like never washes because the juices are good because I don't know. And Khan was like, I'm gonna clean this piece of filth, and he got fired. And but he's an amazing cook. So yeah, maybe that'll be in the future. Just Khan and
He
Samba
said it
cooking.
was part of the reason he like it drove him to do acting more aggressively, I think is what he said, something like that.
Makes sense. There's a lot of fire in that. All right, that sounds fun. Yeah, that might be something we want to do together. Absolutely. Okay. Once your dough is there and done, we're gonna put it in the mixing bowl. Okay. And what we're gonna do, this next step, is add some eggs to it. So we're gonna add 4 eggs to it and mix it in with a mixer. Um, but add your eggs in one at a time so they have time to kind of incorporate. So what I'm going to do is basically break an egg, mix it in for on medium high heat speed until it's incorporated. Then the next egg, then the next egg. Keep mixing it until all 4 eggs are in, and then I'll explain what the next step is. But I'll do it so you can watch along on my monitor. Okay, 4 eggs. That's what you need for this step, and a dash of vanilla after you've added all the 4 eggs. And hopefully you have a mixer. If you don't, you have to whisk the shit out of it, which I had to do once when we had no power. It's doable. It'll just take you longer. So I hope you have power in the mixer.
Catherine says she's a profiterole virgin. Should the dough still feel kind of wet before you add the eggs and all that?
Yes, it shouldn't be dry. It should be warm, sticky, kind of pudgy, like you can want to stick your finger in it. You freak. But that's what you want to. Anyway, let's move on. Here's my mixer. We're gonna add an egg at a time, and add the eggs in fully first before you add the vanilla. Yes, one at a time. So egg number 1. Then we're gonna mix it. Medium high speed, just so it incorporates. Just like that. And then egg number 2. You're gonna start smelling a nice aroma of egg and cream and butter.
If you'd like, I can also add more sounds because of the noise canceling.
I'm sorry.
No, we can't hear it. It's almost silent.
Oh, good. And you'll notice that the more eggs you add, or the more you go with the egg, the more sticky the mixture is going to get, more silky, and it's even going to start sticking to your mixers. And that's what we're going for. And I'll explain how the texture should look, especially when you're doing gluten-free. One sec. Okay, I'm about to add my last egg. Egg number 4. Okay, before we keep mixing and it all comes together, I like to add my vanilla at this point. So just a half a teaspoon of vanilla is to give the pâte à choux, the dough, as a nice vanilla flavor. So, and you can add a little more, that's fine. Who doesn't like vanilla? If your gluten-free mix still looks a bit doughy and clumpy, add an extra egg. Sometimes I have to do that so it becomes more silky. But I'll show you what texture you're going for. So now I'm going to mix this all on medium-high speed until it becomes silky and smooth and stretchy. I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so bear with me for another 30 seconds.
As Samba lovingly whips the eggs into the mix, you can see a certain kind of consistency. And if you want to look at that technique, look at the wrist control that Samba has as he mixes bowl. I don't know why I'm doing this, but it's almost sort of like a golf commentary. Exactly, Dennis. You can see he's got the 9-iron out, and he's about to swipe at the bushes. See, the circular motion is not just one direction. That's an advanced technique you probably learned at Juilliard.
All right. So, just so you can see what texture we're going for, it is, hopefully you can see that, hopefully that's in focus. Silky, smooth, sticks to the beaters. You know, kind of like it'll stick to your finger. There still feels warm and oozy and it, you know, like very, very soft Play-Doh. Kind of like after coitus feel for people who that's hence black peach chocolatey balls, FYI. So if you're gluten-free, does not have I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. This texture, add another egg. Okay, so 5 eggs for the gluten-free flour if it doesn't have this texture right away. If it's not as silky, don't worry, it's still gonna rise in the oven. But basically you're going for this kind of gentleman piratey vibe texture. Hope that's clear. All right, wipe down your beaters. Just add it to the mix. And we're gonna move on to the next step. Okay, I hope it's clear for everyone. Everyone okay? Using a spatula, just scrape down the sides, just so it's all incorporated, and just kind of give it a few more stirs. And we're gonna move on to the next step, which is almost the hardest one for this one, because you're gonna be piping your pâte à choux, it's called choux pastry dough mix, onto a baking tray. So I hope everyone's with me on this step before we move on to the next step. Everything is sticky. Yeah, that's what she said. But wow. Yeah, guys, I can't help myself. You did this to me. Next step.
Let's see. Does anyone need any assistance before we move to the next step? Right. I know there's a couple of questions about the recipe, but I just want to make sure.
Sure.
Does anyone else have any questions about the consistency of what they did? Also, Shai said, "We did this to you, or you did this to us."
Pretty sure.
Okay. It seems like people are kind of following. Yeah, I think Patricia says maybe her dough is too thick. What would you do if it's too thick?
Add another egg, and then mix it on high speed, so it incorporates in there.
Get a little air in there.
Yeah, just get it silky, a little smoother. Okay, before we start the next step, what you're gonna want is a baking tray. Just line it with some parchment paper because we're gonna pipe our pastry mix onto a baking tray. So, that ready. Parchment paper. so it bakes it up to the pan. Don't keep your baking tray and parchment paper on the oven because it's going to be hot and it's going to melt your piping. So keep it on a cool surface.
Vicky in the audience asked, is piping absolutely necessary for the choux pastry, or would an ice cream scoop work?
An ice scoop?
An ice cream scoop?
An ice cream scoop?
Yeah.
I've never done that before. I think with an ice cream scoop, you're gonna have more roundish objects. And they will rise in the oven, but I can't promise you what shape they're gonna take. Try it, please, if you don't have a piping bag or if you're scared of piping. Sure, because I've seen people also just spoon some things on there, like when they're making an eclair or whatever, which is the same kind of texture as a choux pastry. So yeah, I think it'll still puff in the oven. I just don't know what shape it'll end up having, and I'm curious. So scoop away, and they'll still be delicious. Just don't know what shape they'll have and if they'll be easy to fill in after. But let's try it. Sure, I'm gonna pipe, and I'll show you how to do that. It's less daunting than it seems. But basically, what you need is a piping bag. Hopefully, you have a large one. I used to use these little flimsy, tiny ones, and they were really hard to do the whole mix in because I had to do it twice. So I got larger ones today, a big one. And a tip to help you fill your piping bag is to put it in the glass so it stays open. You can easily just put your mix in there, and with the large one I'll be able to fit everything in. But this is a nice tip I learned, which is just put it in a mason jar or a glass, a tall glass, and then it'll create an easy opening for you to scoop your mix in there with your spatula. So I'm going to put my mix in the piping bag, okay? So let's put this nice warm goo in this nice plastic bag. Again, so many condom jokes possible here, which I won't make. Put it all in there. Pluribus fans, I'm so sorry. Okay, get it all in there. If you have a smaller bag and you have to do it twice, don't panic. Just pipe and then put it back in the glass and fill the rest in. But what we're going to do is basically pipe on this baking tray. I'm going to show you what shape you're going to go for. Now, if you use an ice cream scooper or a spoon because you don't want to pipe, that's totally fine. But I like the piping because you can create that texture that will create the choux profiterole shape. So what are you going to do once it's in the piping bag? Let's get it out of the glass. Firm it up. Close the top so it doesn't leak out while you're piping. Okay? And you see this tip? We're going to circumcise it. So what you want is what? It's true.
Are you cutting the tip that yep.
Yeah, we're cutting the tip because I don't know. I like it better. So we're gonna cut about an inch. You basically want your index finger to fit in that hole. Catch my drift? So we're just gonna cut just about an inch and a half off like this. Okay. So you see, it's just got the index finger. You can play with that. So how we're gonna pipe? Basically, you want the base to be about an inch and a half wide, about this size. So when you pipe on the parchment paper, pipe the base and then move upwards. So it creates this kind of poop emoji wizard hat kind of shape. I'll show you, okay? And then we'll do it together. So start in the corner and basically start with the piping bag on the parchment paper. Squeeze till you get a base of about 1.5 inches and then move up like that. Kind of like up and downish. I'll do it again so you can see. And leave about a space of 1 inch between each profiterole because they're going to expand in the oven. And you don't want them to stick together. So you see base, up, slowly, up, slowly, up, slowly, up. Boop. Poop emoji. And again, base, 1.5, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Yeah. Is that clear? Does that look clear? You can't go wrong. Either way, they're going to puff up, but this is just to give it that nice texture that'll make it nice and hollow and easy to fill. Can everyone see this? Is this clear, Charlie?
Yep. Yeah, we can see you pooping right on there.
Exactly. And you know, nice, lots of fiber in this guy's diet. So that's smooth exit. All right. And don't worry if they're not the same shape, guys. No balls are the same shape. All right. Just don't get any hairs on them. Here we go. I'm almost out. Just keep squeezing it, pushing down the piping bag so it's all there. And it's done. This recipe will yield about 15 profiteroles. Unless you make them smaller, then you get more. I like mine to be a bit larger. I'm almost out. There you go. And then I just have enough pastry for one little guy. So let me put a mini me over here somewhere. Okay. Let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, almost 15. And as you see, they're not all the same size, which is fine. You know, we're not professional bakers here. Make each one perfect. Once you're piped, I hope everyone's, you know, enjoying this step. But once they're piped, you see all these little tips at the top, little wizardy hat, pointy tip of the poop things. We're going to want to flatten those so it bakes with a nice shape in the oven. So wet your finger. I'll let you decide how. Just make sure it's wet enough. And we're going to press down on those tips, nipples. Wet the nipples. Ready? Just flatten them out. Whee! You know they like it. And you kind of want to round them off so they'll bake in a nice little round shape. Okay, and basically we're ready to pop these babies in the oven. Are you boop the nipple, Samba? Yeah. I told you this recipe has so many possibilities for fanfic. I'm ready to pop these babies in the oven. Are you?
If you're ready to pop your babies in the oven, can you please raise your hand? Wait, okay, we've got people. Yes, there's several. Yeah. There we go.
So we're going to put it in the oven and we're going to let these babies bake for about 25 to 35 minutes, depending on the heat of your oven. Sometimes when it's humid, they don't rise as quickly or brown as quickly. Sometimes when it's cooler, they do. But we're going to check on them only after 20 minutes. Don't open the oven before that. Otherwise, you can stop them from rising. Okay, so minimum of 20 minutes. So let's put these babies in. Remember, 400 degrees Fahrenheit, 180, 200 Celsius. Gently put them in and see you on the other side, nipple poops. Let's set a timer. Hey Siri, set a timer for 25 minutes. Woohoo! All right, that was the hardest step, everyone. How are we feeling?
People are dead from the commentary so far, but by show of hands, we've got at least 15, 20 people who've already said they're they've put their babies in the oven.
Excellent. Good job, you guys. This was the hardest step. The rest is pretty easy. It involves making a heavy cream, a creme fraiche, and a chocolate ganache. And then, yeah, you have to pipe the creme fraiche into the uh, profiterole, but who doesn't like a little? So we have 25 minutes, 25 minutes. Because I don't want to take everyone's time this morning, why don't we just make the heavy cream ready to go? So it's ready to go. And then let's see how we go. And then I'll be happy to answer any questions. So the creme fraiche, what I need is actually a medium large mixing bowl. And mine's got the choux pastry in there. So let me wash that. But if you have a mixing bowl ready to go for your heavy cream, basically put that in the freezer for now so it can chill and cool down, which will make whipping the heavy cream way faster and easier. Okay, so let me just wash my mixing bowl and then I'll pop it in the freezer. Be right back.
And while he's doing that, if you do have questions, use that Q&A box because we're going to be taking those too in the downtime. We'll be using the Q&A to make sure that we get to your questions as well, whether it's about Pluribus or this recipe or OFMD. Yeah. Nice. I will be making this tomorrow for sure. Actually, my mom is flying in today and we're going to be cooking a whole bunch this week together. So I'm very excited about doing this. And if you had been to the Amy Bruni cocktail event, you met my mom. She came on her first Momentus to say hi. Does Samba have theme music that we can play while he's washing bowls? Also, there are two wolves inside you. There's the ones that clean while you cook and bake, and then there's my mom who leaves everything to the end. Which one are you, Samba? You're the one who cleans as you go.
I have to clean as I go. I mean, A, because I don't have too much gear, so I kind of need to reuse some things. But B, I just like a clean kitchen, so I have an overview of what's around me, which is the complete opposite of Roach. His kitchen was a disaster, but surprisingly, Roach had a lot of hygiene. Like he's bathing in the first pilot episode. We see him do face masks. We see him really have a lot of self care. He does dishes for the crew. So I like that no matter how dirty he was, because they put a lot of dirt on me.
Wellness influencer.
He still really likes to self care and take care of himself. And he cooks really good food. Like he makes it look really gourmet and stuff, which I love. Like every time they were like with the tapas or the feasts or the Calypso's birthday, I was like, holy shit! Like if Roach is the one who made all this, it's like they're respecting his culinary skills, which is fun.
We have a couple
Okay.
of Roach
Oh, and don't
questions
forget
already.
to. I'm sorry, Charlie. Don't forget to wash your beaters too, for your mixer because you need those for the cream. I forgot to wash mine. Sorry, one sec.
No worries. Let's see. Yes, we've got a split decision on cleaning as you go versus doing all of it at the end. Some people don't have enough counter space. I understand that. Kristen is making the orange cake for Thanksgiving. That's incredible. Amazing. Amazing. Let's see. Yep. And yeah, that Q&A box, use that Q&A box so that we don't miss anything because when we start to get going, I have to scroll a whole bunch to find you guys. Great. And then also, just a PSA, I know some of you've said this in the past. You are a big fan of people avoiding salmonella and not tasting raw egg, right?
Yes. I hope no one. I forgot to mention it this time. I'm sorry if you tasted the batter. What's wrong with you? I mean, fair enough. It was tempting and there was a lot of coitus reference. So I get it. But I hope you didn't taste the raw egg mix, please. If you did. All right. Let's put the mixing bowl in the freezer so it can chill for a sec. right. And we'll just let that chill. And we'll have our heavy cream on standby with some powdered sugar and vanilla, because we're going to make a nice sweet crème fraîche. I'll take 2 questions before we start on the heavy cream mix.
Excellent. A couple of Roach questions.
Yeah.
Ellen asks, what was Roach's brother's name?
Huh. The one whose shoulder he he fixed up. Well, there was an outtake. I don't think it made it. No, it didn't make it in the show. But there's a part in the pilot where Roach says he sewed his own shoulder up. And then Taika was like, keep improvising, keep improvising. So I said, sewed my shoulder up once. Took it from a dead guy. He was my brother. It's not my arm. Something like that. Something really stupid. I think I gave him a name like, what was it? Like Kyle, just some random like American name. But no, I guess Roach. Yeah, let's see. What's another terrifying? Something like gecko. Just something that's slippery and you don't want to touch. Yeah.
Nice. Somebody asked, will adding espresso powder or coffee grounds ruin the filling?
To your creme fraiche?
Mm-hmm.
So here's where you can get creative, because I've seen some people fill their profiteroles with like a creme pâte, which is the thick custardy thing sometimes you find in eclairs. Some people do that, but that's a lot of work because you have to make a custard with egg yolks and all that kind of stuff. I've seen some people fill it with a chocolate mousse or with like a strawberry whipped cream. I'm yet to see a coffee espresso whipped cream. If you want to make a whipped cream that has a coffee flavor, avoid adding liquid coffee, because that will make the cream very liquidy and it might not form stiff peaks while you're whipping it. I'd say rather than that, add a bit of espresso powder or maybe coffee liqueur. That's almost like a vanilla extract, but like a coffee extract, just a little bit, just to give it that coffee flavor. But definitely don't add like liquid coffee, because that's not going to help your cream to mix up. So yeah, some espresso or coffee powder is a good touch. And that'd be nice just to, give your black beet chocolate balls just that tangy flavor you're looking for. Yeah.
Yep. And then we've got another question. If we don't have, so Dennis asks, or maybe Denise, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing. If we don't have a gas stove, I have induction. Would it be better to do this melting step in I'm not going to pronounce this correctly because a bain-marie?
I'm sorry, if you don't have a stove?
If you don't have a gas stove, it's induction. Would it be better to do the melting step in something like I'm assuming it's a bain-marie? Is that how you pronounce that?
A bain-marie of the melting step of the ganache?
I'm assuming it's the butter part, but I'm not sure.
Oh.
All right, Dennis. It's the butter.
Yeah, I mean, but you want it to kind of melt fully, simmer, and cook the flour. So you can try a bain-marie, but I've never done it that way. A bain-marie will only give you this much heat. I don't think it'll help you fully simmer. It'll melt everything. You can try, because the point is that it just cooks the flour and with the butter mix. And a bain-marie will kind of help it melt and boil a little bit, but not like, but you can try. Heat is heat at the end of the day. As long as it's really hot, I think you'll be okay, but you might just have to stir way longer for it all to form a film and the texture you want.
Makes sense. You want one more? Or are we ready?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. For those, especially for those who haven't been here before,
I'm so sorry.
Well, here we are. You get to witness the joy and the magic. Samaya asks, did you prepare for the role of Roach by crazy baking? Did you do a lot of, or was that already part of your life? Maybe share that part of
baking was already part of my life. In fact, for my audition, I wore a baking apron that said Samba's Kitchen. So I was wearing an apron, and in my slate, because you have to do a slate where you introduce yourself, where you're from, and So I said, "Hey, I'm Samba. I'm from Mauritania, and I'm also Dutch, but I think this character will fit more into the North African region. So I'm playing a North African, and I also cook. And I think they really like to have that detail that I wouldn't be a stranger to a kitchen or inhabiting a role as a chef or wearing an apron. And yeah, I definitely already cooked before I got the part of Roach, but once I got him, I was like, this is meant to be. So of course I started baking more to bring baked goods to set for birthdays. There were so many birthdays. There was Khan's, Samson's, Vico's, David Jenkins, um, so many people's birthdays we celebrated. And then I think the first time I cooked was when we had finished the table read, and then Reese invited us all over to his house for a barbecue. I think it was Memorial Day, just one of those summer barbecue days off. And that's when I was working the grill, and everyone's like, "Oh, you're an actual cook," and I was like, "Yeah, man, this is not method acting." And that's when I think they all realized, "Oh, okay, this role's meant for you." But they were really surprised that I was playing someone so, um, what's that word? Rabid, so kind of, eager to attack or anger people. So they're like, "Is Hamba's so chill?" And I'm like, "No, but when I'm wearing Roach's outfit, I want to scare people. I want to be, So they liked seeing that difference.
We love you. You are rabid. That's amazing.
Yes, is that rabbit? Is rabbit the word? What did Nathan call me? He said something. What's another word for rabbit? When you're feral.
Feral.
Nathan called me feral.
Sure. Yep.
I think he thought that was my name. He's like, "Well, Pharaoh." No, I think he was calling me Pharaoh. Um, okay. Mixing bowl from the freezer, nice and cold. We're going to add our heavy cream to this. And basically, we're looking to add 2.5 cups. You want enough cream to fill up your cream puffs. Sometimes, if you have too many of them, you might not have enough cream, but let's just start with this step and see how much cream we have. If you need more, you'll always be able to make more. Just follow the same steps for the recipe. But we're going to add 2.5 cups, which is 650 milliliters of heavy cream. It's a lot, but we're going to make more than enough than we need. So let's put 2.5 cups in there. 2.5 cups. And before we start mixing it on high speed to form stiff peaks, where we're also going to add our powdered sugar and our vanilla to give it that nice sweetness that we're looking for. So add about a tablespoon of powdered sugar. You can add more if you like it sweeter. If you're a sweet tooth, that's totally fine. Like about a tablespoon of powdered sugar. It's like this guy. So add that in there. I'll add a little more because I like it a little sweet. And a half a teaspoon or dash of vanilla extract, just to give it a nice pop of vanilla. That'll make it a nice cream. And we're basically going to mix this till it forms stiff peaks, which is when it starts getting thicker and kind of like fluffy butter. You don't want it to go further than that, otherwise it'll form actual butter. But I'll show you the texture basically. But we're going to mix this for about 3 minutes on high speed till it forms. So it's going to get loud. I'm so sorry, but let's do that. Make sure your beaters are dry if you wash them. You don't want them to be wet. Let's form stiff peaks with the heavy cream. Oh, I'm a professional.
Do you want to extreme close up this as well?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
I will extreme close up this. Let's hand down. Let's zoom in. Not in. And let's rack focus. Okay, ready? Bonne chance.
And as you can see here, he's making stiff peaks from his mixture of creme fraiche. Stiff Peaks was also his nickname in high school, and a sequel to Twin Peaks. If the mixture happens to go over the side of the bowl, it's okay. I'm sure some animal will find it. Yes, he's living dangerously by using a medium-sized bowl. See if he can he's playing chicken now with the stiff peaks. And the bowl, there's a little bit of drama for the story we're telling here. You'll see that he's not gotten any sprayed onto his lovely apron sold by shopstands.com. But I see a little bit of spattering. There's a little spatter. Slight. Yep. See, you can see that he's tilted the bowl. Make sure that the spatter could go to the right place.
I think, yeah. This is nice and stiff. I'll just go another 10 seconds. But you basically want it to hold its shape and kind of have this, nice fluffy texture. You may have noticed cream got everywhere as we were mixing it, but that's how you know you had a good time. So I'm gonna mix this for another 10 seconds.
The management here at Momentus does not espouse or advocate that spatter goes everywhere. That could be potentially hazardous depending on what activity you're doing.
And feel free to lick these if you want. No one's judging. This is how I became a good kisser. All right. And basically, this is the texture you want. Nice, stiff peaks. Very excited cream. Primed and ready. And basically, you want to just incorporate it all. So just scrape the sides down with the spatula. And let's see. We have about 7 minutes, 10 minutes in the oven. If it's a hot day where you are, keep the cream in the fridge so it stays cool and stiff. If it's a really hot day, because otherwise it can melt when it's out. It's not too hot right now in Los Angeles, so I'm just going to leave it out, but not close to the oven, so it can keep its shape, all right? Because what we're going to do once the profiteroles are out is basically pipe the heavy cream inside them from the back. So some people like to just cut their profiteroles in half and put the cream in there and then put the hat on top, which is fine. It's not as fun. And some people even like to put ice cream instead of heavy cream into their profiteroles. They just cut them in half, put a ball of ice cream, put the top hat on. Also nice, delicious. But what we're doing is something way classier and way funner. And people will be like, how did you fill them up from the back? And you'll be like, that's private information. At least I use protection, a piping bag. But anyway, let's put this away from the oven so it doesn't lose its shape. And we'll put it in the piping bag the same way we did with the pâte à choux, the choux pastry, which is large piping bag, medium piping bag, in a tall cup, put the cream in there, cut it, seal up the top, circumcise it, and then we'll pipe it in. But don't put it in the piping bag just yet because we have time. I want to take the time to make the chocolate ganache so that once the choux buns are out, the profiteroles are out, and they have time to cool down, everything's ready to go, the heavy cream and the ganache. And then I'm not taking too much of your time this morning. So are you guys ready to start the ganache step? It's not hard. It's very easy. All right. Basically, you're gonna need a small saucepan on the stove. Again, if you don't have a stove, a bain-marie will work just fine for this. You're basically going to melt your chocolate chips into your heavy cream. But what I'm going to do it the stove method way. We're basically a ganache is basically just heavy cream and chocolate chips that are melted together in a good temperature so that it becomes a silky, smooth, chocolatey texture. How that works is you put equal parts cream to chocolate chips, but you have to heat up your cream first. So we need enough chocolate. So let me see. I'll just do 1 cup of heavy cream for this recipe and 1 cup of chocolate chips. So basically put your heavy cream inside the saucepan, heat that up on medium heat until it starts to simmer around the sides, not boil. You don't want it to boil. You just want it to kind of simmer around the sides. That's when you know it's warm enough. And then you're going to add your chocolate chips to that, turn off the heat so it doesn't keep cooking, and then slowly stir so the chocolate chips melt into the cream until it forms a nice silky texture. And I'll show you exactly how that works. Okay, so 1 cup of heavy cream. And then before you turn on the heat, have your chocolate chips ready to go. 1 cup of chocolate chips. I like using guitar or Ghirardelli, just dark or semi-sweet. Okay. And don't panic if your ganache doesn't take. There's so many ways to fix it. Either you didn't have enough chocolate chips, or the cream was not hot enough, or you need a little more cream, or your chocolate chips were not fatty enough, like if they're not creamy enough. But there's so many ways to fix this. Don't give up. There's so many ways you can Google to do it. But I'm going to start heating my heavy cream on medium heat till it starts to simmer. And I'll show you what the sides will look like. Like basically you want it to bubble around the edges. Make sure that's in focus too so you can see. Oh, my battery is gonna die soon for my camera, so I'm just gonna change it. In fact, let me change it now before I do the cream step. Let me turn off my. Yeah, one second.
And don't forget to use that Q&A box if you have questions or if you're following along and you need a little assistance or questions about OFMD or Pluribus. We're here for you. Got you. How's everybody's ganache going? I see some questions also about the ganache step.
Right.
So we'll get to those as well at some point here. Yeah. And then as a reminder, we have the, let me get you guys a recipe again, just in case you've missed it, if you want to follow along. But yeah, use that Q&A box so that we can follow your questions, because we don't want them to get lost. As soon as you guys start making sex jokes, they get lost. So we have to, yes, Elizabeth, you, all of you, you know what you've done.
I didn't start it, Charlie.
You, okay. Sure. It's sort of chicken or the egg, right? Which is like,
I think this was a very natural occurrence between OFMD fans and the cast. It was very organic.
A union, yeah.
Very organic union. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. I'm gonna turn on my heat now for my heavy cream. Medium heat till it starts to simmer on the sides. There were some questions about the ganache.
Yes. There was one question. Let me see if I can find it here. Selena asked, could you dip the profiteroles in the ganache rather than spooning it over the top?
Yeah, absolutely. You can dip it in there. Funner too. Yeah, you don't have to spoon it on top. Um, you can definitely dip it in. Yeah. Oh, my alarm ringer is going off for the 25 minutes. So
And
let me
what does that
quickly.
mean? What
It
does it
means that
mean?
it's it means it's been baking for 25 minutes. So let's see if it's ready to if they're golden brown, basically. I'm not burning myself on the heavy cream saucepan. Check on your profiteroles. See if they're golden brown and risen. If your nipple poops have come to life. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Let me show you mine. Behold, the nipple poops have risen. Um, Nice golden brown texture, which is what you want. They've puffed up nicely. Um, I hope yours have too. If they're not golden brown, bake them longer, another 5 to 10 minutes. You judge it by your eyes, but you want them to be firm, you know, risen, kind of silk. What you call it? You can feel that they're light and hollow at the same time. So I think mine are done with the color I want, but here's a pro tip for you. Let me set fire to my parchment paper here. Once they're the texture you want, turn off your oven, but keep the profiteroles in there for another 5 minutes. That will do is stiffen them up, make them crunchy, still hollow, but nice and crunchy. So when you put your cream, you'll just have that nice little chew to it, which is a fun thing to have. You don't have to. I mean, if you leave them just the way they are like this, that's fine. They'll just be a little softer, which is totally okay. Some people like different textures. I like mine a little stiff. So I'm going to turn my oven off because I think mine are ready. Charlie, this happens without me thinking. I'm infected. So I'm going to put mine back in the oven and 5 minutes so they harden up. Again, if they're not golden brown to the color you like, just keep them in there for another 5 minutes. Keep an eye on them, okay? Because I'm moving on to the ganache step. I'm sorry if we're doubling up here, but I hear my cream starting to make a bit of noise. Starting to simmer a little bit around the edges. Those little bubbles forming around the sides. So I know it's almost ready. Let it simmer more. Not boil. You don't want it to boil. Just let it get hot. And then we'll add our chocolate chips basically to that and stir. Well, let it sit for like 15 seconds. Turn off the heat and stir, 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 stir. So I'm just going to let it simmer a little more. And then we'll add the chocolate chips. And again, if it doesn't thicken up or form a nice silky thing, try adding a bit more chocolate chips.
And Ashley asks, my cream is simmering. Should I turn it down?
Yeah, or just now you're ready to go. So
Yep.
turn off the heat. I'm ready to go. See, mine is all bubbly around the edges. And basically, let's add in our chocolate chips. Turn off the heat. Add the chocolate chips. Let it sit for a second before you stir. Let them get to know each other, you know? Like, hey, this is my cream. I hope you feel nice and welcome in it. And then, consent is important, Charlie. And then slowly start to stir. And it should be hot enough for the chocolate chips to melt. But I'll show you what texture we're going for. I might have to add a few more chocolate chips, I'm already noticing, but just keep stirring till all the chocolate chips have melted, okay?
And Samba, Linda asks, equal parts by volume or by weight for the ganache?
By volume, so 1 cup to 1 cup.
Got it.
I guess that's a weight thing too, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not a mathematician, Charlie.
Yeah, there's math. And Hillary said, I added my chocolate chips before my cream was warm. How screwed am I? The ADHD took over.
Eager to get the cream in there, huh? All right, so what you have to do is basically put it on low heat, your mix together, and keep stirring consistently. Basically, you want the cream to heat up without melting the chocolate. That could work. Otherwise, you have to do a bain marie, which is where you put your saucepan on top of a saucepan with water in there that boils. And that way you're not burning the cream and the chocolate. But no, start with the low heat. Start with the low heat. And keep stirring, okay? No melt. So basically, you want it to start forming this chocolate swirl. It's gonna get darker, it's gonna get silkier. See, it becomes a portal of chocolate goodness. See how it transforms? That's what you're going for. Make sure you stir until it's all melted. So you don't feel any chocolate chips. There you go. It's silky, it is smooth, it is warm to the touch. The gentleman pirate, I presume, or is this more Blackbeard? I don't know. That's what you're going for. There. Silky, melted, smooth chocolate. If it looks grainy, it means that your ganache seized, which means the temperatures were not right. Add a little cream, just a dash, and slowly mix it on low heat. Or because you need more fat, so add a little cream to that. But anything else that looks weird, trust me, Google is free and easy, and there's so many quick fixes on there that I've had to do a few times myself. But this is the texture you're going for. Okay. Boom. Ganache done. All right, set that aside to cool because we're going to use it at the end. And now I'm going to remove my profiteroles from the oven. Here we go. There they are. Golden brown poop nipples. They hold their shape. They feel nice and hollow, warm. I hope everyone's. Don't worry if they've like collapsed. That happens sometimes too, and the temperature changes too quickly. We'll fill them with cream so they hold their shape. It's gonna be nice and. Okay, because this is a shorter baking class, I want these to cool faster, so I'm going to put them on a serving plate already and take them off the baking tray so they cool faster in the next 5 minutes before we pipe them, because they have to be cool before you pipe your cream. Otherwise, the cream will melt. So we put them on a little plate. And I'll show you what the texture looks like on the inside with this little experimental one. But on a serving plate, set it aside to cool so it cools down quicker. But what you're looking for is a nice little puffy cream puff. We're basically going to put a hole in the rear. And that's where we're going to pipe from. It's a secret.
Sorry, where does it need to go?
The hole's going to go in the rear. The rear.
Mm-hmm.
Park it in the rear, Charlie. Fill it from the rear. Stuff it from the rear. I don't know what else to describe it as. Just. But let me open it up so you see what it looks like on the inside. This is what it will look like on the inside. It's nice and it's hollow. You see, it's crispy on the outside, hollow on the inside. That's what you're looking for. Just a nice little crunch to it. That's what a cream puff is. And so some people like to just leave them hollow and dust powdered sugar on them, which is fine. Dutch people tend to do that. Like sometimes they put whipped cream in there, sometimes they don't. Then they just dust powdered sugar on them once they cool enough. And that's a nice treat too, nice and light. But we're going all out. We're going full-blown Black Pete's stuffy, full Ferdo chocolatey balls. All right, so let those cool down. And we have completed all the baking steps. The last step is basically going to be putting it all together. So we have a few moments to let it cool down before we move on to the final full, not full frontal, full backle.
You say full backle.
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure I got
that. All right. 5 minutes for any questions, stories you want to
Yes.
hear.
We've got okay, we've got a few here. So Shy and I actually have the same question.
Mm.
Well, okay, actually I'm gonna go to an earlier question. Let's talk about Pluribus for just a moment.
Okay.
Um, Elizabeth asked, love to hear about it. It's fantastic so far, and it seems like it's been amazing. Do you have anything to share about the process itself? Maybe not the plot for the moment.
Yeah, I mean, this came about. So the day OFMD was canceled was when my son was born, which was the happiest and saddest day of my life in one, which was really interesting. Um, so I was like, oh man, what are we gonna do now? I really wanted a third season, and I was kind of bummed out. But I had a new life in my life to take care of and support, and that brought some joy. And literally a month later, I got this audition for what was then called Untitled Vince Gilligan Project. So of course, when I saw the email, I shit my pants because Vince Gilligan for me was like top tier TV. And they were looking for an African gentleman, dressed to the nines, French speaking. And up to that point, I had not spoken French on American TV, even though it's like my first language. I've always had to do some kind of accent. Like I used to play Indians or Middle Eastern people. And so with Roach, I was like, finally, I'm playing someone from North Africa. And with this, I was like, oh, shoot, I can actually play someone from my actual country, like Mauritania, because we speak French there. So I did the audition and I sent it in and I didn't hear anything for 5 months. And I was like, oh, well, that's gone. So I just focused on raising my son. And then 5 months later, I heard, hey, you have a callback for that thing you did back in February. I was like, oh my God. So I had a callback with the casting directors who are huge, like Sharon Bialy and Russell Scott. They cast everything from Walking Dead to Handmaid's Tale to all kinds of amazing shows. And they really worked with me in the audition to help me find the humor in the character, but also find moments of vulnerability. And basically, my character is loving this new world that happens. And I don't want to spoil the plot because the less you know when you go into the pilot, the better. But the world changes drastically, and my character is now able to take full advantage of this world. And so he's like a kid in a candy store. What they loved about me was that I am not creepy. I mean, I am in this baking class because of you guys, but in a fun, nerdy way, right? So I think that's the quality they liked, that this guy was had his fantasies, but was like a nerd and a virgin, which is like, hi, I'm Samba. That's how I come across. So that was what the quality they liked about this character, and then I got the job and immediately was able to start filming, and with Ray Seahorn, who's the lead in this, who was Kim in Better Call Saul, and she's fantastic. And Vince called me to welcome me, and it's such a fun show because it's sci-fi and it's drama, but there's so much dark humor in there too. And I get to bring a lot of levity, and I'm in a couple of episodes, episode 2 without spoiling it, and an upcoming one. And it's such a fun character because I get to really dress it up and live my life to the fullest, like live this dream to the fullest. So, and I get to speak French, which is so fun. I get to play the first Mauritanian character, I think, on an American drama. Vince really wanted me to play someone authentically from where I am, which was really cool. So, yeah.
And I'm not going to spoil it. When I saw how you were introduced, when there was a moment before you're introduced, and I was like, there's no fucking, oh my God.
I
It
mean,
was,
it's a pretty epic introduction, and
yeah.
like like when we had our premiere and we were screening on the screen, it was like everyone started clapping at that moment because it's just so ridiculous. It's
It's
so
so good.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
So it's such a fun character, such a fun role. It's such a nice set because there's no hierarchy, there's no ego. These people have been working together for 20 years. So it really felt like family. And I hope people enjoy it because the main character is a middle-aged lesbian woman. So hey, we're keeping that theme going, guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and it's such a sweet. I mean, as drama, as much drama as there is in the whole thing, there's still a lot of sweetness behind it. And so I hope people tune in and like it. I mean, the fact that
It's
it was called Apple's biggest opening for a drama series ever, like it's, yeah, I can't fathom that. That's
it
insane.
is. And it
Yeah.
taps back at like his work on X-Files and things like that.
Yeah.
There's this deep underpinning of good writing inside it at every turn. And just and we do have, I mean, you might not be able to answer this, but Shy did ask, and you can refuse. Will we see you again in this
Yes.
season? Okay.
Mr. Diabate, Mr. Kumba Diabate will return. And I like this, the idea of the name Kumba, because Kumba is a woman's name, typically where I'm from in Mauritania. But the only way the guy takes on a woman's name is when his mother has passed away in giving birth, childbirth. And so that was a fun detail that we came together with Vince. He's like, I love that backstory for your character. I had no idea that that was a thing in your culture. So again, a very deep attachment to a mother, which was also with the case with Roach with his sash. I made it about he got that beautiful sash from his mother, and so it's nice that some things from OFMD kind of transition subconsciously into this show as well.
There's no one else that could play this part, honestly. Like, and everybody in the comment in the chat is saying the same thing. It's like
Thank you guys. Thank you. I enjoy being a creepy nerd.
well, here's the thing: the circumstances that you're in, you somehow remain likable, even though there are things that maybe would be a little
Yeah,
questionable.
I mean it's a hard line to toe because the line between creepy and sleazy and excited and enjoying life is very like it's a hard line to toe with still kind of trying to come across as likable.
Yeah.
So it was fun to find those moments for sure.
Yeah, I mean, yes, Kristen, time to resubscribe. I mean, just literally for this show.
Amazing.
We've got other questions here too. If you have, how much time do we have?
Yeah, I mean it's 11:20.
Yep.
The next step will take about start filling and ganaching will take about 10-15 minutes and then the recipe's done. So it's up to you. Like if you feel we have more
Yeah.
time for questions. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take a few more and then we'll get back into it and then we'll close out maybe with a
Nice.
few last ones. The let's see. Whoa.
Mm.
Oh, Michelle asks, have you baked anything yet for the Pluribus cast?
Yes, a lot. So their office is literally down the street from where I live,
Oh man.
like a 3-minute walk. So as soon as I
That's
found that out, I
fantastic.
was like, "Hi
Yeah.
guys!" And the post production team, we shot for a whole year last year, and then we went to Spain and Albuquerque and another location that you'll find my character in. And the post production took a long time because they were working really hard to make it as good as it can be. So I promised them that every month I'll bring them a baked treat, and I did for like 8 months in a row. Every month I'll show up at their door with a baked treat. So that's just who I am. That's how I am.
Awesome.
David Jenkins called me extra, which is like, hey, I did the same thing for you guys. I just love sharing big treats with people and just in motivating them, especially the crew that we don't see. We only see the cast on screen, and it's nice to celebrate the crew as well. And I tried to do that with all the BTS I posted and all the things I did. My big treats were not only for cast, it was for everybody on set. And I just like everyone feeling a part of it and being celebrated and feeling special. Yeah.
So good. There also we have a question. Has anyone cursed you out about it as good as Leslie Jones? as,
I don't think anyone will ever top Leslie Jones. No, that was so fulfilling, and that was the best review I've ever had. Because Vince and them are so sweet. They're like, Samba, this is the best thing I've ever eaten in my life. That's my Vince Gilligan impression. It's more like Mickey Mouse. But Leslie Jones's compliment will top it all. Where, yeah, And that video, I keep it on loop from time to time. It's just, it's
The
the best
best.
compliment I've ever received.
So good.
Yeah.
We've also got a question here. Well, I mean, here's a question. Thanksgiving plans. Amy asks, what are you making? What are we making for
I'm making
Thanksgiving?
my mac and cheese, death by cheese with samba. That's what I'm making for
Oh,
Thanksgiving. It's a
smoked
household
paprika.
forward. I know, smoked paprika, breadcrumbs, the cheese, and the recipe's out there for those who haven't made it. It's not hard, trust me, and it's delicious. And it was Khan's favorite thing. Khan O'Neill, Khan, get into shape. I'm buff. I don't eat carbs. O'Neill gouged my mac and cheese and then found out how many cups of cheese was in it. And he was like, fuck you. And all the fun things he likes to say. But no, the mac and cheese recipe is out there. I'm going to make that. I'm so excited to make that. It's one of my favorite dishes. So please check that out. And it's a great dish to make for Thanksgiving. People will love you.
They love it. I made it for my family and we ate it for like yeah, a week.
Nice.
Uh, so good. And then, let's see. Well, we've got a few other ones here. Uh, I don't know if I can ask that one. And then we did that one. You answered this one.
Yes, I'm
Um,
a virgin.
Molly, yeah, Molly asked, is it the same cooking time for a gluten-free shoe?
Sometimes they cook faster. Like when I made them this summer for the office, they cooked faster than the regular flour ones somehow. They rose quicker and they were browner. So that's why I said check after 20 minutes because that's when you will kind of gauge the color. Um, if they're still blonde, just keep baking them a little bit. But if they feel, hard and hollow and puffed up enough, you're fine. Like they'll still be cooked. It won't be raw. You can always test one, open it, and see if it's doughy and wet and raw inside, then let them cook longer. It just depends on what gluten-free mix you use. I use 1-to-1, and that baking time was a little faster than with regular flour.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we want to jump back into it, and then yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Basically, this is the last step, guys. And you can always do this later if you want, but I'm just going to demonstrate it to you so you know how it works. Basically, we're going to stuff the heavy cream into the back of the shoe, which is so fun, and then top them off with a chocolate ganache. So remember the heavy cream you made earlier? Hopefully it's still nice and stiff. If it's gotten softer, whip it up a bit and it'll harden again. We're basically going to put that in a piping bag. But before we do that, actually, we're going to put holes in the back of these babies. That's how you're going to enter the shoe. So using a knife, poke a little hole in the back, may I? And you want a hole about the size of your pinky so you can really just put a hole in all hole in all of them. Basically, your piping bag is gonna go in this hole with the cream and give the shoe a good time. The profiterole a good time. All right. Little holes. Again, some people like to cut it in half and put cream in there and then put the top half on, which is totally fine too. Or ice cream, like I said. But just going to do that. Make sure all of them have a hole. Okay. And now they're primed for the taking. So we're going to put the heavy cream in the piping bag. Same technique as last time. Use a big glass. If your piping bags are smaller, just fill them up twice. I like a large one so I can do it in one go. Place it in the glass. Here, I'll tilt down a bit so you can see. Put it in the glass, just so you have that opening and it's easier to put the cream in there. And basically fill up your bag with some cream. And you can always make your cream sweeter, like I said, or experiment with it. People who added coffee beans, I'm curious to see how, or espresso powder, I'm curious to see how it tastes. Please let me know. Please share, like you always do. when you made these. I like seeing what you guys do. Oh, too much cream. Sorry, buddy. That's no such thing as too much cream, right? And oh, right. Once it's all in there, just down. You're gonna want to seal the top so it doesn't leak out. It's already a mess, God. One said it's gonna be a clean step. All right, and we're going to circumcise this guy too. Again, the same size as last time. You want your index finger to be able to get in there. So let's cut the tip about an inch. Boop. And we're ready to pipe. Let me just clean this area up. So let's get on the thing. Hopefully your shoe buns are cooler to the touch now, so the cream doesn't completely melt when it goes in. But yeah, you want it to be cool enough. Sorry, I'm licking cream all over the place. Okay, this is how it does. It works. You're basically going to put the tip inside the hole in the back, and you can play some nice music if you want, whatever floats your boat with this step. And you're basically going to squeeze the cream in there and really fill it up. And you'll know it's getting in there and filling up because the shoe puff pastry is going to feel heavier. It's going to expand. You see, it's getting bigger. And you want to fill them fully because there's no better thing than biting into a cream puff or a profiterole and like it's fully filled with cream. No better thing. See? And sometimes your cream will explode. That's fine. Just like life, use a paper towel after, clean up. But yeah, this is the step. This is the fun step. I'm just going to do it this way because it's a bit faster for you guys. Ah! See, this one had some cream escape from the sides, which is fine when all the holes are full. You know, happens. And then is everyone okay on this step?
I think they're okay. I think everyone's
I might not have enough cream. Because I made mine pretty big today. But if you don't, just make a new batch. You have the recipe now for how to make it. Just make sure you chill your bowl. It'll help you with your cream. But to save time, I'm not going to fill all of them up. So I can do later. There we go. Oh. It's not a hard step, it's just a messy step. I have to make more cream after class. But I have a good, 7 to show you how to top with the... Ooh, this one split in half. You're welcome, sir. And one more. Okay. I'll make more cream later. Let me just show you how to top it in ganache. And that will be our chocolatey balls. I'll put the empty ones aside so we don't confuse them. It's the ones that are full of cream. Oh yeah, feel how nice and heavy they are. Nice and expansive. Boom. So basically, once you're filled, line them up in a way that you can pour your ganache on them without making too much of a mess. Let me put these babies aside. And we're ready to move on to the final step, your ganache should be nice and cool by now. Um, Definitely can eat this because there's no raw eggs in it, so this won't give you salmonella. Um, Make sure it's not too warm. Cool to the touch. Yep. So some people, I guess, are gonna dip the nipples in the profiteroles in the chocolate, which is your, do you. I'm just gonna spoon the chocolate sauce on top. Um, and you just want about a tablespoon, and then the ganache will set eventually. You can put it in the fridge so it hardens quicker, or you can just leave it out. It'll harden eventually. I like to put my profiteroles in the fridge once they're done because they'll be nice and cold. The cream will stay stiff and cold. Ganache will set quicker, and then they'll be ready to eat right away after 15 minutes ish. So let me show you how I spoon this. Should I zoom in a little bit just so you can see?
Yes, there is a spooning demonstration.
A spoon. You're gonna spoon these nipples with chocolate sauce. Here we go. Just a tablespoon on top to give a nice little chocolatey mountain. Just like that. Don't worry if it leaks down the sides. That just gives more chocolate and nice little flavor. And then you can separate or put these on a new serving plate once you're ready to serve.
Samba, I make the mistake every time of not eating before these baking classes, and it just makes me insane. This is just
Charlie, you should know by now.
I
Um, you can use leftover chocolate ganache for future things. You can store any extra chocolate ganache in your fridge, and then when you need to make it liquid again, because it's going to harden in your fridge, don't heat it up on direct heat. That's when you use a bain marie, which is you put it on another saucepan with water. Put water in this guy, put the ganache in this guy, and then just the hot water will melt the the hot water will melt the ganache on top. That's how you reheat a ganache. Don't put it on direct heat, but you can store this for sure. Any extra, but that's what your babies should look like. Behold, a nice chocolate profiterole filled with creme fraiche. Black Pete's chocolatey balls are ready to go. I'll decorate each one of them with a pubic hair just to stay in character. And I hope that you guys were able to keep up and do the thing. My gosh, wait, this is out of focus. But, this is the recipe. I hope you guys did it. I mean, they look so hard to make, and yes, they can be challenging, especially the piping part. But keep practicing, and you'll get it right. And you can make different shapes. I mean, you can make eclairs. That's just a long line of poop this way horizontally. But this is the profiterole recipe. This is the first thing I baked for the cast and crew, and it was so special to make and to see it on set as an actual dish that they could eat during that tea time scene. But I hope that you guys were able to bake along, and it's such a pleasure to do these with you guys. Truly, I hope you enjoy them. I hope you can make them for the holidays and share the joy with other people. And before we wrap up with everything, I just want to say how grateful I am for you guys. Like, there's no fandom on earth that will ever compare to the OFMD fandom. And I'm so grateful for you guys. I know times are weird right now with everything going on in the world, but you're not alone. We're crew for life, like I said. And I just want to keep encouraging you to be you and do you, because there's only one you out there. And be you to the full is beautiful. I always say, just keep shining. And eventually, the more of us that shine out there, the more of us will inspire others to do the same. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh man. I love coming at you in that chat right now, man. It's thank you for sharing your genius both on screen and in the kitchen with us. It's been
I appreciate it. No, thank you guys. Thank you so much. And yeah,
yeah.
if you haven't checked out Pluribus, just check out the couple episodes. It's it's Vince Gilligan, so it builds slowly too, but it
Yep.
will, trust me. But I hope you like it. It's yes, it's drama, but there's also some fun moments in comedy. And
Well,
like I said, it's the main character is a lesbian woman, and I'm so glad that we have representation still these days because all these other shows are just being canceled left and right.
I know,
So
and the way that it's woven into culturally, it's a global moment in the show, and so we get to
yeah,
meet cultures and the storytelling is
yeah,
and it
it's
should
a show about humanity at the end of the day, and that's what we need. So thank you guys. I
there
really
it is.
appreciate you. Thank you, Charlie, for putting this event together. You are killing it with these. Thank you for doing this. And thank you to all you guys. Happy holidays. Stay in touch. Share your photos. Tag me in your
Yeah.
recipes. I'd love to see those. And Ice Scoop Lady, I hope everything worked out well. And I can't wait
Good
to
luck
see
with
what it
that.
looks like. But thank you.
I like the judgment in your voice where you're like, you could just put nothing on it and sprinkle if you
Sprinkle
want
powdered
to.
sugar if you want and just skip the funnest part, sure.
Yeah, exactly.
You lazy son of a gun. But
Uh,
no, this is yeah. I like this is like it feels satisfying to have
no,
this on a plate and to be able to put this in your mouth. It's like, oh God, like look at this.
it's the
It's
best.
just oh.
It's the best. All right. Well, we have come to the end of our class now. So thank you everybody for joining us, and thank you for getting a ticket and supporting Feeding America. We put the link into the
Thank you.
chat there a few times. Yeah, we're helping
Yeah,
people with food insecure households, and 90, I think it's like 98 or 92% of all goods and cash that go to that organization go directly to the people that they're helping. So
that's amazing.
it's a
That's
big
great.
deal.
Yeah.
Um, Super important. So we're going to be moving on to the meet and greet. So if you have a meet and greet ticket, you just stick around right here. You're going to get an invite to join us. If you don't have a meet and greet ticket because you've made a very big mistake in your life, you just we're going to eject you out of. We're going to make you walk the plank now.